Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20, and welcome to episode 101 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series. Today, playing with some more Immersive Engineering stuff. As you can see, I've been cooking up iron into steel. And we're going to need a bit of steel for some of the Immersive Engineering stuff we want to get going. So my plan for today, I've prepared some of the prerequisite items that we're going to need to build some cool stuff with Immersive Engineering as autocrafters. So let's get them populated here. And I've gotten a bit of steel from our production line over there. And I think it's time to make ourselves a metal press. Because one of the next things we're going to need to do is get steel plates. And I can do it with the hammer that I have. I can use that to make steel, but I want to get the metal press anyway, so let's check it out. It's one of the first fun multi-block machines to build. So in order to make this, we're going to need 2 steel scaffolding. Steel scaffolding times 2. Easy peasy. Boom. It makes 6 at a time, so not a problem. We're also going to need 1 redstone engineering block and 1 piston. So redstone engineering block. Check. Makes 2 of those at a time. And a piston. Check. And you can even see you get a little green check mark next to it if you have enough stuff. 2 conveyor belts and a heavy engineering block. Cool. So conveyor belts. I think I get 8 of those at a time, so that's fine. And a heavy engineering block. That makes 1 at a time, maybe? 2 at a time. Neat. Okay, cool. So that should be everything we need to make one of the most basic machines, or the most basic multi-blocks. It has the fewest components, as far as I know, in this mod pack. Now, the other thing we're going to need to do is power it. Now, I don't quite yet have... I kind of want to do a pure Immersive Engineering build over here, but I don't quite yet have power up and running from Immersive Engineering. So I'm just going to temporarily use a wireless RF transmitter. And then what we'll do is switch this over so that it's actually using proper stuff. Cool. So let's imagine that I haven't measured this out at all. Let's get our tape measure maybe. Because if I'm going to try and make this look nice, I should try and make this look nice. So let's pretend this is the inside corner of the room. I like to have even numbers. So if I wanted to have a 29 by 29, not that I have any idea if that's a good size or not, that's what it would look like for an interior room, right? So if I did... That was the wall there. Let's just pretend this is the wall, or at least it's gonna be. That should be cool. So let's imagine that a lot of the processing and stuff. Now these are actually going to be a little bit bigger because once I bump these up to the next tier, they have to have a wider footprint. So they might be a little bit bigger. So let's throw this machine in this back corner over here, and he can kind of be along this wall. Will be some of the machines that produce stuff for us. Does that sound cool? I like it. So if we wanted to, right, 2 blocks away from here and here, I believe that would be it, right? So let's get out our book and make sure that we've got this right. So scaffolding, redstone, scaffolding. This is how you build it. Scaffolding, redstone, scaffolding with 2 blocks away. And then conveyor, piston facing down, conveyor. And conveyor should be going kind of to the right. You can kind of see that. I think you can see a little image. See how there's an X that shows up? When you place your cursor inside the top triangle, it's going to face that direction. If it's in the left triangle area, see those square or those black triangle shapes? That indicates the direction that the conveyor is going to be when you place it. So there and there. Nice. And conveyors, by the way, are a cool little gadget. And I believe you can right-click them with your hammer to make them change stuff. But you can drop items on them, and they'll, convey. Including players. Neat, right? You can do stuff with conveyors for transporting items around. And we might play with them a little bit throughout the series. We'll see. For the piston, you should be able to hit that with the hammer to rotate it. Nice. And then what goes up on the top? The heavy doohickey. Cool. And then hit it with the hammer. Sweet. We've got things and stuff. Now if I toss this guy here as a temporary measure, he should be able to send power up here. And you can see it shows you on the Whale tooltip that it has IF in it. IF is basically just its own little power system, but RF converts directly from it. So basically considered RF. And we've got a metal press. How cool is that? We can pipe items into it, and it will do nifty things. So let's get an input and an output chest. Does that sound good? And let's use... For now, I think I can just use transfer nodes and transfer pipes. That should be fine. So if we wanted to get this metal press to work, we can do a few things. So first off, we're going to need a press plate. I think it's called press. It's something, there it is, metal press mold plate from Immersive Engineering. So you can get plates, you can get gears, you can get rods, bullet casings, yeah, there's bullets, and wire. What we're going to want is this one. So for him, we're going to need steel plates around silver plates. So let's, or nickel plates apparently, or uranium plates, or Constantin plates, or basically looks like any plate. So let's get steel plates. So to get that, we're going to need... That's steel ingots. Oh, right. Wow, I used a lot of steel. Cool. And then I guess we could use silver plate. That should be fine. And we have a metal press. Cool. Now we could always use the engineer's hammer if we wanted to, but I just think this is a cool little gadget. So all we have to do now is install this dude here. And I think... I may be mistaken. But I think basically all you have to do is transport... get a way for this thing to send its steel. So if I wanted a steel plate, I do that. And what it should do is kind of go along the conveyor, get stamped. Zzz. How cool is that? And then, boom, we've got ourselves a steel plate. Nice, right? Now I forget if this thing can just, if conveyors can pull directly out of a chest. Kind of forget that nuance. So let's see. I don't think they can. Let's look at the book and see if there's anything about that. That's stuff. Conveyor belts. Here we go. Neat. Move along the belt. Hoppers will be able to drop items onto the belts. All right, so we could use hoppers. That works too. You can use redstone to turn it off. Cool. That's cool. You can also have stuff that automatically puts stuff in inventories like that. Vertical conveyor belt, that looks pretty neat. And the splitting conveyor belt, cool. So there's lots of different types of conveyor belts, but you definitely have to, one way or another, get the item onto the conveyor belt directly. So I think what we had a moment ago, which was this and that, should work. So if we throw that in there, we should get a bunch of steel plates, which we can use, awesomely enough, to make ourselves the reinforced blast brick. So let's look at what we need for a reinforced furnace. So to get a reinforced furnace, crude blast furnace, is it under heavy machinery? Improved blast furnace, there we go. Definitely a nicer way to make steel, it says. So it basically needs to be the same exact structure, but a hopper on top. And that's really the only difference. Cool. But each of those need to be a reinforced blast brick, which is an existing blast brick with a steel plate on it, which is why we're making a bunch of steel plates. So we basically need 27 steel plates to get this going. Cool. Let's get another stack of iron. Let's get our coal coke, any and all that we've produced. We're producing coal coke slowishly. Not as fast as I would probably like to be producing it, but it's all good. So let's just map out our corners here. just so we know what we're talking about for this 29 by 29, and then I can clear out the tape measure thing. There we go. Hey, get back here. Neat. So we've got steel plate production going. And like I said, I could have done these with the engineer's hammer and steel. But I wanted to make this machine anyway, so now we've got a cool thing. And we can automate this later down the line. So we can have, like, steel goes in, steel plate comes out kind of deal, right? So I want 6 more of these, and that'll give me the... Well, I only need 5 more, right? And that'll give me the 27 that I need. So let's get ourselves a hopper. It is cool watching the animation go. And you look like you're getting about done, so let's let you finish this operation. We'll be back in a minute. And, well, you know what? I'm going to let both of these guys finish what they're currently working on. And then I have to break both of them pretty much, because what we're eventually going to have is having blast furnace preheaters on the side, and they go on each side. So we need extra spacing for what we need to do. All right, so let's get our 27 reinforced dudes, like here-ish. So what we'll have, essentially, cool, with the hopper on top. And now we hit this dude with our hammer, boom, and we've got a much fancier looking dude. Nice. Now, we're going to want to put stuff here and here. So then we're going to want to space, and then here, 1, 2, 3, and there. So that's what our next tier of those are going to look like. Now, what we want to go along with this is blast furnace preheater. So blast, let's make sure that you're synced. Furnace preheater. Cool. We need an external heater and iron sheet metal. Iron sheet metal is just a bunch of iron plates. So we're going to need 14 of those. So let's get 16. Let's get about 32 of you getting iron platified. And then we're going to need external heaters, which don't look too bad. The only thing that you need in the middle here is a copper coil block, which needs LV coil wire. Hey. Which is regular old sticks and copper wire. Copper wire, you can either shears a copper plate or you can use a metal press. So you get 2 copper wire per copper if you do that. And you get 1 copper wire per copper ingot if you do it this way. Cool. So the question then becomes, do we want a second metal press that is dedicated to wiring? Maybe. That might be kind of cool. Because what we could have is just right in front of it, right here. That might not be a bad idea. Or even just behind it even, like here. That might be cool. I think I even have the stuff for that, don't I? Boom, do. Here. Here. I just need the piston, right? And then we're good. And let's get the wire press. So U times 4. And any kind of wire. So what we can do is we can just get regular old copper wire here. We'll just quickly get a copper plate because I can. Boom. And then that'll make the press that we're gonna want. So we could have this machine like right behind it. Cool. And then we do something very similar with chests. And this one actually does have a kind of good reason to go about this route, because it is a net gain. I kind of don't want to have the chests messing with each other. So let's do iron chests instead of these, just so that they don't connect to each other, you know what I mean? And then we can put this here and here. Let's make sure that this is like that, and let's use, I might be able to use this wrench. I might have to use, if I do that and that, they should not be connected. Cool. So now if I want to make copper wiring, I just grab, say, half a stack of copper, drop it in here, and now you make wire press. You just need actually to place this on here. And now you should be allowed to run. Neat. Pretty awesome, right? Alright, so that's enough copper wiring for now. So that I should be able to get my blast furnace, this thingy. So we get those. We get these two. We get that. And then we can get that. And these two things. Neat. Wireless doohickey. So you guys go here. Nice. And here. Now, they do need to have RF coming into them, so let's just give this thing wireless RF, and eventually this will be powered via a better system. You're just going to have to take my word on that. So you guys should have IF going into you now, which should be good, and that's cool. Now let's go get some coal coke. So it still does need coal coke. This doesn't replace the need for it, but it should run more quickly, and we'll see if that's true. That's definitely faster, right? Like, noticeably faster steel production, which is cool. Awesome. I don't even know if I need 2 of these at this point, if it's going to be that quick. We'll play it by ear. So according to this doohickey, the book, iron and coal coke are fed in through the top of this machine, and you get the stuff, the resources, out the bottom. No, you get it out the front and back. The front is where you get the steel from, so if you put an inventory here, the steel will go into it, right? And out the back, this output here is where the slag goes. Kind of cool. I wonder if I can pipe into the bottom, though. So if I popped an exporter in there with, say, coal coke, which we may have some of, or we may not, we'll find out. Are you gonna run? Thinking no. Is there any coal coke in the system? There should really be. There's 4. So if that was gonna work, it would be working. It's totally not. So let's consider doing this. 2 refined storage interfaces. Go ahead, buddy. Let's go. Interface. You should have probably finished crafting by now. So I won't need my importer, but I still will want the exporter. Hey, there we go. That's one interface done. And the other one should be coming right along with it. Nice. So what I could do, so if I put an interface here, he should only get the slag automatically. And out the front is where we get the steel. Okay, so if I wanted to, we do that, and then boom, steel and slag are automated. And if we want to do further, the top is where you have to pipe in the coal coke and the steel, or the iron, right? So if we popped this dude in here with coal coke, he should start filling up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you get it, right? So that's working too, and that's good. Cool. So that's some good progress. I like that. At least some level of automation. It's not quite as compact and neat as I would like, because I usually like to hide stuff as best I can, especially if I'm going to fancy up this room, but it has to be there, right? Like, there's no other option, so that's cool. And we're actually kind of a little bit slow on coal coke production right now, so I'm going to leave this as is, and we'll see if one furnace is enough. I may eventually want a second furnace here, and if I do, that won't be too big of a deal. Cool. But now we've relatively automated all this good stuff. Let's move on to checking out some other cool gadgets and whatnot from Immersive Engineering. So guys, I'd like to start working towards power gen using this mod. Now there's a couple approaches we could do. There's early game power gen, but I think I'm going to jump right to the end game power gen. But there's early game power gen, which is cool stuff. You can get the thermoelectric generator, which basically generates power based on temperature differential between hot and cold items. And then you can also get things like the kinetic dynamo, which can be turned either using a windmill or a water mill. But people have watched the series before and know a lot about those. What I haven't worked with too much, I've done it only once or twice, is the diesel generator system, which is pretty cool. For that, we're going to need some heavy machinery. We're going to need a fermenter to ferment plant oil, I think. I think so. And, well, the squeezer gets you plant oil, right? Yeah, the squeezer gets you plant oil from seeds. And the fermenter gets you ethanol from plants, either melon or sugar canes or apples or potatoes. And then you can combine those in a heavy machine called the refinery, which basically makes diesel fuel, and then you can use that to produce power. And that's something I want to check out, right? So let's get started with the squeezer and fermenter. So these guys, trying to decide where I want these machines to live, right? So we've got the squeezer, which is a 3x3, right? So if I put them over here, I might want to work my way outwards from this wall, starting backwards from the diesel generator. Because what I'm thinking I'm going to want, well, maybe not the diesel generator, but the refinery. So the refinery is a 5x5, 5x3. Okay, so it's a 5x3 multi-block. So if we want to go 1, 2 away from the wall, 1, 2. Right, I'll actually put it 1 away from the wall. So that should be fine. Cool. And then we could have that's kind of what it would look like. So we'd have the fermenter, the squeezer, and the refinery, and then we could have the diesel generator, maybe like over in this side of the room, producing a bunch of power. So like over here, we'll be producing all the fluids. And what I'm thinking I might have is a few machines over here producing some stuff that we'll take a look at in a second after I maybe take a quick nap. So that's what I think I'm going to do. I think that'll work. So before I get too much into actually building that though, I want to work on the system that's going to produce the resources we need. So the squeezer can either squeeze pumpkin, melon, or wheat seeds, or industrial hemp seeds. I'm thinking I might want to try melon seeds because the fermenter can ferment melon as well. So if we did melon, we could do both fermenting and squeezing because we can auto-convert melon into melon seeds. What I want to try is taking a look at the cloche, because that I believe exists. Yeah, garden cloche from Immersive Engineering. Sweet. That guy requires an iron mechanical doohickey and a lantern, which doesn't look too bad. Looks like it's just a piece of glowstone and some glass. And this guy is like a machine that can basically grow crops for you. Let's get a couple of them, if I may, because it looks like I've got enough to make 3. So boom, easy peasy. Over here, I'm going to place my cloches. Boom, boom, boom. Cool. Now these guys also require RF, so we'll stick this dude here. He can feed into them. They should be getting RF amounts, I would expect. They don't actually appear to be. Let's take a look at the cloche information. I'm assuming it's in here. Let's just search for it. Garden cloche. Designed to hasten the growth of plants. Yes. Accepts power, fluid, and items through its respective ports. Water and power are always required. Various fertilizers are optional. So we do have to feed water into there. That shouldn't be a problem, though. The hatch at the front of the glass dome is the only automatic output. Every seed needs to be paired with correct soil to grow on, with dirt being automatically recognized as farmland. All right, so if I got some dirt, which I might even have, cool. They can each have dirt. Oh, and look, they're getting power now. Awesome. It was just, I guess, taking a moment. Or maybe they needed the dirt before they could have power. I don't know, but that's step 1. Step 2, let's get export buses times 3, and you will be responsible for getting water going. Let's just run over here underground. So the main purpose of this... Wow, I got really close. The main purpose of this is we plan to grow melon seeds in these cloches, and then I want to see what the output is. Does it just output melon, or does it also output melon seeds? If it just outputs melon or melon seeds, it really doesn't matter which one. I can work with that. I'm just kind of testing it right now. So exporters, check, check, check. I just need a bucket of water. That's distilled water. Boink. So we'll come over here. We'll say 1, 2, 3. We will set you to fluids mode and water. Set you to fluids mode and water. Fluids mode and water. Boom. You guys are all getting water now. Nice. That looks good. Now we just put melon seeds in you. And let's see how fast this is. You ready? Let's see what it looks like. So you can see the like melon in there growing, and it's actually pretty quick. Oh, that is awesome looking. Dude, how cool is that? Nice. And we get a full-blown melon out of that. That is cool. So what can we do with that melon? We can sawmill it into melons. So if we got a sawmill from thermal expansion, we could totally do that. Is there any other automated way to like convert those melons into something useful? Doesn't look like it. It looks like the sawmill is the only machine that can process it. Like I can't just craft it. And if I break it with a pick, I get about 7. Is it always 7 or is it random? That time I got 3, so it's definitely random. And I got 7 that time, right? So let's get a couple more seeds. Right? And that's pretty awesome. And we can even speed this up with a little bone meal. So I'm putting away my potato because I've already decided that I don't need to use potatoes. Bone meal. Fertilizers should speed up the growth process. Cool. I don't know why it says there's already a fertilizer amount in there, but maybe once that empties out, it'll use some bone meal? Beats me. Long story short, though, that's pretty neat. So, A, it looks really awesome watching those watermelons grow. And B, that's going to work really well for us. So I guess my next question really would be what to do with this in terms of processing these watermelons into melons, because I don't think I can put them directly into the squeezer as solid block melons. So we can try it, right? Let's give it a shot. So if I wanted to make a squeezer, right, we're going to need... That's melon seeds. I want the fermenter. Yes. So I'm going to need 6 steel scaffolding, 2 fluid pipes. I don't know if fluid pipes are available, so I'm going to go teach it how to make them. Fluid pipes. That's fine. You know how to make iron plates. I can use IC2 iron plates for that. That's no big deal. So... 6 steel scaffolding. I know that makes 6 at a time. Fluid pipes. That'll take a moment. There they are. I only need 2 for now. 1 redstone engineering block, 2 light engineering blocks. 4 cauldrons and 4 iron sheet metal. 4 iron sheet mold and cauldron. Cool. So let's go build this thing and find out if melon blocks work. So fermenter can be the first thing I make. And then squeezer will be the next one. Okay, so we're going to want light, steel, steel, steel in like a U kind of shape, and then pipes in the middle. So light, steel, steel, with the pipes in the middle. Okay. And I always like to kind of... Alright, next here is another light. The redstone's here, and the cauldrons are in the back. Cool. And then the steel scaffolding on top of the cauldrons, and then we're done. Cool. And then I need to hit something with the hammer here. On the central cauldron from the side that has the engineering blocks. Did I do something not right here? That looks right to me. There we go. Nice. Nice. All right, cool. You're going to need RF. You're going to feed in there somewhere, and you're getting power. Cool. Sweet. There we go. So let's test if I can just toss you in there. Are you going to work? So there you go. You can see that it's using melons to make ethanol, but it's not going to use the full-blown melons. We need the little pieces of melons. Good to know. And it's also going to need more power than only one of these can provide, but that's fine. The power input... Is this the power input? We'll figure it out. For now, it's good enough. We've got the gist. We've got the rough idea of how it's going to work. So that's my plan. So what I'm going to have to do is process these in like a sawmill, right? Chop them down into individual melons. And then we're going to have to auto-craft some of them into seeds so that the seeds can be sent over here to the fermenter. That sound like a plan? Unfortunately, though, that's going to have to wait until next episode. So how about we come back next episode, we will get a sawmill up and running, and we will kind of just go from there and have a little bit of fun playing with this cool stuff from Immersive Engineering. So for now, it's Yield wrapping up point. Darryl20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We'll come back next time and do some good stuff. All right, guys, take it easy.